Hello students, my name is Vishal and today we are going to start with a new topic which is control valves. Okay, this is chapter number 3 in our subject industrial hydraulics and pneumatics. So let's get started. Direction control valves. Direction control valves are used to control the direction of flow in hydraulic or pneumatic circuit. Okay, as the name specifies, it is direction control valves. Okay? It controls the direction of the flow in the particular systems. Means, for example, I want to go from point A to B for a particular period of time. So this direction valve allows me to move from point A to point B for a particular period of time. After that period of time, it will either cut off the supply or it will change the direction of the flow. Okay, so it is completely depends upon the direction control valve which we are going to select and what orders we are going to give to that particular direction control valves. Okay, so they are used to extend, retract, position or reciprocate hydraulic cylinder and other components for linear motion. Okay, direction control valves are actually constructed using two type of constructions. One is poppet valves and the second is spool valves. Okay, we are going to deal with both the types. Poppet means we are actually having a construction over here which is related to a poppet type or the spool type. Both are actually one kind of a pistons only, but the construction is different. Okay, we are also having three-way two positions, four-way three positions, four-way two positions. These all are the classifications, and based on this we are going to study in detail. Types of DCV which are in our syllabus are 2x2, 3x2, 4x2 and 4x3. Now I want to discuss something. See, when I am talking about 2x2 DCV, these two are related to number of ports and these two are related to a number of sections. Okay, when I am talking about sections, which means suppose I am having a rectangle section, I will divide this into two because it having number of sections as 2. So I will divide the complete rectangle into two sections. I am drawing a symbol of a 2x2 DCV over here. Okay, when I want to symbolize 2x2 DCV, I am showing the how to make it symbolize. Okay, I am not making you to mug up things. I am making you simply memorize the things how to make these DCV symbols. So make a rectangular and depending upon the number of sections, divide that rectangular into that number of sections. So in this situation we are having two number of sections, so I divided the complete rectangle into two sections, and when I am talking about the number of ports, I am having two ports. So one will be in the upper side and one will be in the lower side. Similarly, one will be in the upper side and one will be in the lower side. The first for the first port, the arrow will move from lower port to upper port. Okay, suppose I am giving a name 1 and 2. This is also 1, this is also 2. So from for first section, the fluid will move from port 1 to port 2, and in the other section both the ports will be turned off. So this is a symbol of 2x2 DCV. These symbols I have already discussed in the lecture, so we will not just waste time on the symbols. I just want to make some revision related to the symbols. So we will move forward to our types of DCV, which are 2x2, 3x2, 4x2 and 4x3 DCVs. We will learn all these DCVs, the construction and all these things, because these DCVs are very important from an exam point of view, and out of these 4 DCVs, at least 1 or 2 DCV will be asked in your exam for 4 marks or 2 marks, either of the way. So we have to completely learn this DCV very sincerely. Okay, so let's get started with the 2x2 DCV. 2x2 DCV actually stands for 2 ports and 2 sections series, section 1, section 2. So this diagram and this diagram, these are related to two different periods of time. So for the first period of time, this is a single acting cylinder. See, the spring is over here. This is a single acting cylinder for port P. When I am giving an input to port P, but the position of the piston is in such a way that it is actually closing the port P. So it will not allow the fluid to move in. Okay, it will not allow the fluid to move in. Now, if the fluid is not moving inside, so it will not move outside also. So over here the flow is closed. Okay, it is cut off. For the other time period, when the piston is being pushed, inside, so the spring gets compressed, and because of which the piston moves further. Okay, because of force, the piston moves further, and this compression of the spring takes place. It allows the fluid to move from port A to port P to port A. Okay, which is the transfer of fluid from port A to port P to A. So it actually allows to move from P to A. Okay, since this is a push button type, we are pushing the piston, so we are giving the push button. Okay, when I am asked to explain 2x2 DCV in the examinations, so I have to draw both these diagrams, this symbol, and I have to explain each and every position of the fluid or the diagram. Okay, so this is the 3x2 DCV. 3x2 DCV tells us about the 3 ports. Okay, we are dealing with the 3x2 now. So these are number of ports and these are number of sections. So sections deal with in the symbol. So we are dividing the complete rectangle into 2 parts, 1 and 2, because of 3x2 in nature. So these are the number of sections and these are the number of ports. So ports are actually port number 1, port number 2, port number 3. So 3 ports and 2 sections. Over here also 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So for the first position, we are moving. We are actually blocked two. We are having 2 pistons over here, a push button and a spring over here, So when the first piston is on the port number 1, so it is actually blocking port number 1 to make an inlet. So the port number 1 will be closed, allowing the port number 2 to make a flow of the fluid from port number 2 to port number 3. So port number 2 to 3 is having a flow. Then when the push button has been pressed, so because force applied on the piston, the spring gets compressed, allowing the port number 1 piston, which is on port number 1, to move forward, and then the port number 1 gets opened. Port number 1 gets opened, allowing the fluid to move from port 1 to 2. Okay, and meanwhile the other piston is blocking port number 3. So port number 3 is blocked over here in the symbol, and 1 to 2 is having a flow, and this is a push button type symbol. Okay, so this is a 3x2 DCV. When I am talking about 4x2, 4x2 means 4 number of ports and 2 number of sections. So this number of sections, I have to divide the complete rectangle in 2 parts, 4x2. So 4x2 means 2 sections, and I am having 4 ports, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and numbering is 1, 2, 3, 4. So this numbering can be changed depending upon the book we are referring. So normally I am using this number sequence 1 to 2, then 3 will be on the side of the 2, and the further opposite in the opposite we are having 4. So we are having 4 total ports and 2 sections. So it is like this in the symbol. So for the first construction, we are having a cylinder. We are having 3 piston now. Okay, spool type pistons. First port, second port. Okay, sorry, second port. Third is either from this on this, and this is fourth port. Okay, when I am talking about the first position is moving from port number 1 to port number 4, and port number 2 to port number 3. Other 2 ports are blocked. Other one port is blocked, which is port number 3, extra one. Okay, so from 1 to 4 and from 2 to 3. This is the position. And in the other section, when we have pushed a button, then the piston will move forward, blocking this piston, okay, this port, because of which the fluid will move from 4 to 3 and 2 to 1, okay, 4 to 3 and 2 to 1. This is the 4x2 DCV. 4x3, when I am talking about 4x3 is having a fluid which is dealt in such a way that 4x3 is divided. Suppose I am having 4x3, so I am having a rectangle, so 3 are the number of sections, so I have to divide the complete rectangle into 3 sections. 4 is the number of ports, so 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4, 1 2 3 4. These are the number of sections and the complete diagram. Now I have to deal with the motion or the transfer of fluid from port number 1, 2 and 3, 4 on these 4 ports. So we have to move for our complete diagram. So in this section I am having ports, okay, 1 2 3 and 4. These are the number of 4 ports. In port number 1 I am having a flow from P to 1 and 2 to T, okay. So this section is having a flow from P to 1 and 2 to T. Then in the second section I am having a when I have actually pushed a piston further, it will block the complete movement of the fluid, which actually resists the motion of the fluid, and hence the motion of the fluid gets restricted. So in the second section or the third section, no fluid will be passed. Then when I am talking about the further movement of the piston, when I have actually moved for the piston the further in the same direction, so the motion of the fluid will be from 1 to T and P to 2, okay. This is the motion of the piston. So also one more thing, when I have divided the section 3 parts, the numbering of the section will be 1, section number 1, section number 2 and section number 3. The middle one will be section number 3, okay. The middle one will be section number 3. This is the complete 4x3 DCV. And now 5x2 DCV. 5x2 is actually the term which are related to 5x2 or even 3, we can say. So for 3 we need to have 3 sections, and for 2 we need to have 2 sections. 5 means 1 2 3 and 1 2 and 1 2 and 1 2 3. With this, like this the basic layout will be. And when I am talking about the directions, so for the first port, this is 1 2 3 4 and 5. The piston is in the center. For the first port, we will have a direction from 1 to 4, which will be resulted into like this, okay. Then for the second section, we are having a motion from 2 to 3 in the backward direction. So 2 to 3 in the backward direction, and 5 will be completely closed. Now when I am having a second type of a motion, in which the port number 3 will be blocked. Piston will move in the right direction, okay. Piston will move from the right to left direction, so which will block the port number 3, and hence the motion of takes place, and hence the motion will takes place from 1 to 2 and from 4 to 5, blocking port number 3. This is the complete motion of the piston, okay. See, these are the different kind of position of the center positions of the DCV. Suppose I am having a 3 sections DCV. So section number 1, section number 2 and section number 3. So the center one, this is section number 3, are of different varieties of DCVs. Suppose I am having a completely closed, then floating type, then floating center, then open center, regenerative center, closed center. All these types of DCVs are there with the variations of center sections. Okay. So now we are going to deal with that. Suppose I am having a floating center. The floating center will have one section closed and it is attached like this. Okay. For open center, we are having a direct open center which will look like this. Okay. Then when I am having tandem center means the opposite directions are closed and there is a return side. Okay, return side. Suppose I am having a fluid which passes from here, so it will just return going into the section and then returning to the original position. Then regenerative center is closed for a particular period of time and allowing the port to move in the single direction for that particular same particular period of time. And for closed center, we are having completely closed, all the 4 ports are closed here. Okay, which will not allow any of the fluid to move further. See, this is the next topic related to check valve. Check valve is actually dealing with the system which blocks the flow for a particular period of time. Okay, suppose I am required to a flow of 45 meter cube of discharge, so it will allow only 45 meter cube of discharge, or upon that not below 45 meter cube of discharge, because we will set the tension in the spring as required. Based on that tension, the fluid will be allowed into the system. Okay, suppose I am required for something about 40 meter cube of discharge, so I will set the tension of this spring on this 40 meter cube of discharge. So once this 40 meter cube of discharge limit has been crossed or attended, the fluid will compress the spring and move into the chamber, and once this fluid has been moved into a chamber, it will start flowing outside the from the other section. This is called a simple check valve. Okay, check valve is actually checking the intensity or the magnitude of the required flow which is to be discharged from the second section of the component. Okay, so this is completely second type of valve which actually deals with the required discharge of the flow. See, in this fluid we are dealing with the simple check valve. This section is having a spring which is set by this tension. Okay, this is a regulator, tension regulator over here. This is actually dealing with the setting of the tension in the spring, which actually deals with the fluid requirement. Okay, suppose I am having a requirement of something about 40 meter cube of fluid discharge, so I will set the tension appropriately into this spring, and once this flow or the pressure of the flow gets attended to that set limit, the flow will make a rise. The flow will make a rise because due to the pressure which is building in the flow, and it will just lift up the valve and allow the flow to pass in. Once the excess pressure has been allowed to pass, now the limiting pressure will allow the ball to again set down and restrict the flow of the fluid further. Okay, all this has been built up because of the spring and the pressure variations. This is the check valve, pilot operated check valve. We will discuss this in our further slides. Okay, thank you.